friends, welcome back to the channel. I am back, you guys. Oh my goodness. I have been meaning to hop on here, but I'm finally here today. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. We are hanging in there. We're doing pretty good. It's like I have said so many times in the last few months that grief is such a process, and it really is. Just when you think, okay, I got this, then it just creeps up on you and sneaks up on you, and you're reminded that, what, the loss is great. So still missing Dad tremendously. If you guys don't know, my dad lived with us for the last 6 years, and I was his caregiver up until October, when he passed away at age 85. He was truly, truly blessed to have lived that long, to have seen great grandchildren be born, which he was over the moon about. So especially my grandson, because he, is local here and he got to see him. But he was really special to my dad. But, I still expect to see him sitting in his trusty recliner in the living room, or sitting at the breakfast nook table eating his Honey Nut Cheerios that he loved, or coming around the corner from his bedroom with his rolling walker. At any time. I expect it. I just do. It's only been a few months. And I was talking to my daughter the other day, and she was saying how recently, when she was over our house, she thought she heard my dad's voice, but it turned out to be probably my husband or my son. But you just expect these things because they've been such a part of your life. And then the reality is, no, that's not true. That's not going to be happening. You're not going to see him sitting in his recliner. So yeah, it is an adjustment. We're still adjusting to the loss. I've said before, my dad had such a big personality, and he really did. He had such a great sense of humor. He was so funny. We had our challenges. We're not going to sugarcoat that, right? It was real life. But my dad was such a good conversationalist. He literally could pick up a conversation with just about anyone. He would find some common ground, and his favorite topic of all was food. Don't get him started talking about food or shrimp, his loves. But he was just funny, and we certainly miss him. Recently, we had a neighborhood get together, and some neighbors and I were talking, and they were looking for someone to offer up their driveway, and so we decided to do that, to volunteer. So we had a bunch of neighbors over. We had one of the neighbors brought a fire pit. This was 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago. And it was cold that night. For Florida, it was cold. I don't know what the temperature wound up being. I think it was in the 50s. That's cold for us because it was also damp. But it was such a nice time. It was nice to meet new neighbors and to see old neighbors. But what reminded me of that was one of my next door neighbor, actually, who I don't always see. But she asked how my dad was doing. And so I guess she hadn't heard, so I had to tell her that Dad had passed. And so, yeah, that was challenging. But it was such a nice get together. So our neighbors, we all agreed that we should do this more often. I don't know. We've lived here for, it'll be 5 years in October. But we've never really done this. So we volunteered to have it in our driveway again. So in a few more months, we'll do it probably quarterly. So I think that's reasonable to... Everyone's busy, but that's a nice way of touching base and just have a community feel. So we have some really good neighbors here, I tell you. So the other day when I had my grandson, who I babysit 1 to 2 days a week, so I wound up catching up with one of my she's not a new neighbor, she's been here for years. but it's new. She's new, a new friend to me. But anyway, she and I wound up taking a walk with my grandson, so that was nice. And she's very friendly, and she just loved, of course, seeing the baby. Oh my goodness, my grandson, he is growing by leaps and bounds. He knows how to clap his hands now. That's his new trick. My daughter-in-law always says he has a new trick of the day, and he's walking and running, and he is such a delight to my heart. He loves to play peekaboo with Grammy, and he can play it for, oh my goodness, for so long. He has a long attention span for a 1-year-old. Oh, I think he loves to see my reaction because I laugh every time because he smiles and laughs, and it's just so cute. We keep each other laughing. But he is just such a joy. So smart. Last week when I had him, we decided to have some outside playtime. And so he enjoyed playing with his little shovel and rake in the dirt. So that was fun. He's so cute. What else have I been up to? Well, decluttering and donating. Once again, I have a Salvation Army home pickup scheduled. So that's kind of one of the things that I'm doing today is just kind of going around and seeing what I can get rid of. Hubby and I actually organized the garage over the weekend, and I came up with some things out of the garage to donate. But always a good thing, you know, a little early jump on spring cleaning. Spring is almost here, right, you guys? You might not be feeling it where you are, but it certainly has felt like it here. Of course, Florida's weather is up and down, you know. Like today, I think our high is 73, but overnight, I think it was in the 40s. We have quite a swing here. We just never know. Right now, I have long sleeves on, but sometimes, you know, by the afternoon, I have to change into a short sleeve. It's just, you got to be flexible here, flexible. So yeah, I've been doing some yard work. So that's always a work in progress. Hurt my back. That was great. No. Gotta take it easy, you know. One of the projects that we have been meaning to do, or I wish I could do it, but we've got these large trees by one side of our fence line. And so I asked my son on his day off if he could try to get the saw or whatever he has to do to trim that up. So he did that last week, and I was so happy. So he has a little bit more to do out there, but that was a great start. So yeah, it's all these lingering projects, but we're getting them done. We got our spotlight fixed outside. That was a good thing. One of our neighbors came over and helped my husband with that. So it has actually never worked since we've lived here. So that's good to get it operational. Red letter day. Oh, and then we just had our master bathroom faucets, the sink faucets replaced. So that was exciting to get that done. And we had the water softener repair guy here the other day. He had to replace a seal and reset the timer. It was cycling on at the wrong time. But anyway, a nice older gentleman. He's retired. He's the one who installed it for us 4 years ago. And he wound up doing it all for free for us. So that was really a blessing. Nice guy. Oh, and then I had my son take the pressure washer to the shop. So I think he's going to pick it up today. And then hubby will be busy sprucing up our pool deck and our driveway and all of that. That has been needing to go to the shop. So we're just getting all sorts of things done that have been on our list, on our mental list. Just taking care of household things, busy, as I'm sure you guys are too. Honestly, what I've been doing a lot of is quilting. You know, for many months dealing with my dad in and out of the hospital, rehabs, and all of that, leading up to October. I didn't sew for many months. And then, of course, even after his passing, I didn't have the energy to sew, really. So I've just now recently, within the last month or so, gotten back into sewing. And, a lot of people say that quilting is therapy or quilting is my therapy, as with any hobby, painting, whatever it is. But it's really true. It is just so relaxing, and, it's my peaceful time just to have some time to myself. And I usually play some music, or sometimes just quiet. Sometimes I just pray and quilt. So that's been very therapeutic. Another thing that has really helped me is journaling. So that has been very useful. We had my husband's aunt's funeral about 3 weeks ago here in Florida. And so I gave her daughter, who is my husband's cousin, a quilt, and then also a journal, a grief journal. And she said how much she really loved it. So I think it's very useful just to process everything that's happening. And, I don't write in it every day, but when I feel like I need to, it is there. So journaling is very useful in many, many areas of our lives. I used to keep a weight loss journal. That was very helpful. So I haven't abandoned my weight loss journey. I'm trying to be more active as I have energy. Some days I have a lot of energy, or a fair amount of energy. And then some days I just don't. Trying to get more rest. So yeah. What else is happening? I think that's about it, you guys. Just carrying on. I tell you, this grief process is really interesting because, like I said, some days you think, well, I'm fine. I've got this, and, everything's going to be fine. And then other times it just hits you like a ton of bricks. His birthday, my dad's birthday, was kind of hard. That was at the end of January. Of course, he would have been 86. But like I said, I know in my heart that he's just having the best birthday, the best year. And honestly, he and my mom are probably feeling quite sorry for us that are left here on the earth dealing with everything that we have to deal with. So yeah, rationally, I know that he is just at rest. He's at peace, total joy in heaven with God. And, that gives us such hope and such peace, really. So rationally, that. But then there's the process of just adjusting. I heard somebody say the other day in regards to grief that, particularly as a caregiver, that's just a whole nother level of not only commitment to my dad, but just that bond that we shared. He depended on me for everything. Everything mentally and emotionally, taking him to the doctors. I mean, he could walk and take care of himself in that regard, but everything, pretty much every facet of his life, I had to help him with, from filling his little pill containers so he remembered to take his pills on time, just everything. So I heard somebody say the other day regarding grief that, after your loved one passes, it's like you have to find and regain your balance. And I think that is largely where I am right now. I'm trying to regain my balance. I'm realizing what I already knew, that it was a huge burden, and just caring for Dad, trying to keep him alive. It was not easy. He had a lot of health issues. He had epilepsy, congestive heart failure, just so much. And then, of course, toward the end, we found out he had extensive cancers. But, all of that juggling and trying to take care of him, I knew it was a huge burden, but sometimes it's not until after you're relieved of that burden, that you realize just how heavy of a load it was. And so that's where I am, trying to regain my balance and trying to breathe. Breathing is good, you know. But life is good. You know, at my core, I'm doing really well. But we have our struggles. You know, my husband lost his mother in early December. So both hubby and I are both grieving. And then, of course, he has lost several family members, his aunt and cousin. And so it's been a lot, but we are managing. So I wanted to get on here and let you know I'm still here. Still, you know, regaining my equilibrium, and then I'm doing well. So, and I hope you guys are too. Hope you guys are just counting your blessings and finding peace in the midst of this crazy world. And we know that that peace can only be found through a relationship with Jesus Christ. So I'm actually reading through the book of Psalms this January, February, and probably March also, because there's a lot of Psalms. I think I'm up to Psalm, almost about Psalm 50, I guess. I think I was reading Psalms 47 and 48 today, which are really good. 46 was really good yesterday too. I encourage you to read some of the Psalms today. They're very short chapters. And what I like to do actually sometimes when I sit and sew is go on my Bible Gateway app, and there's an audio feature. So you can just listen to the Bible as you're doing other things, as you're cooking or driving or whatever. So I listened to a lot of the Psalms the other day while I was sewing in there. So that's a good way to just be encouraged. Just keep your focus on God, because when we focus on Him, everything is in perspective, right? Our hope and trust is in God alone. And thank God that this world is not our ultimate destination. Heaven is my home, and that is the day that I am living for. So until next time, I will see you soon. God bless.